back up. So page 2. Now I don't know if I deleted that. Did I? Nope. All right. So here's the deal. We'll scroll down. We'll just use the numbers that we had in there before. All right, so here's the deal. We talked about kind of yesterday the gender ratios. Another word for ratio is fraction, okay? They want us to give equivalent ratios or fractions to this one. So write down 34 over 16. Now, to find equivalent ones, we have to do the same thing to the numerator and denominator. In this first one, what did I do to the numerator and to the denominator? I multiplied by 2. So an equivalent ratio or fraction could be 68 over 32. Okay? We could have 340 over 160. That is an equivalent ratio or fraction. Right? Does that make sense? You've done that before. Now, we could make it bigger or we could make it smaller sometimes. We could reduce it or simplify it. What went into 34 and 16? 2. Now, 34 divided by 2, sometimes that's tricky, but here's what you could do. Instead of 34, think of it as 30 and 4. What's half of 30? 15. What's half of 4? 2 plus 15 is 17. Half of 16, maybe you know it, but you could do half of 10 is 5. Half of 6 is 3. Break it into easier parts. That's going to be a common theme. So we could reduce it that. Now, we wouldn't reduce it any further. We don't want any fractions or decimals in a fraction. That's a compound fraction. We don't like those. Okay? Now, next, let's do, let me go here, and I'm giving you a secret. So, on this next one, I would ask, what makes more sense? When we're going to Value Mart buying some back-to-school pencils, right? Maybe you went back to school and did some shopping. They had a deal. A pack of 30 pencils sells for $7.97. A pack of 12 pencils costs $4.77. Which one is the better deal? Now, usually you would say the pack of 30 is. And now, me being a father of several boys in school, I would not buy the 12 pack. I'd buy the big pack, 30 of them, because everybody would need a pencil. Me being a math teacher, I love pencils. So I'd buy the bigger pack. But that's just me. We want to figure out what's the better buy. Now, before we figure out better buy, we need to look at it and think, what makes more sense? Pencils per dollar, or is it dollars per pencil? Okay? Here it says you take how many pencils you get, divide by how much it costs. Let's try that first. Take 30 pencils divided by 7.97. So in your calculator, just do it in your calculator, 30 divided by 7.97. Macy, did you get an answer? What'd you get? Perfect, 3.76. Now what that says is you get 3.76 pencils for every $1. Can you go into Walmart, Target, say, excuse me, I have $1. Can I buy 3.76 pencils? Would they do that for you? No. Oh, yeah, sure, we'll break that. No, they wouldn't do that. That does not make sense. Pencils per dollar would not be how it works. What does work, what we go by, is the dollars per pencil. So you wrote this down over here. Did you write this down? Let's write that down. And what makes more sense? Dollars per pencil. Okay? What that means is you're going to take your dollars that it costs divided by how many pencils you get. Okay? And again, looking at these, trying to think, okay, which one makes sense? We're going to see this over and over and over. You always take the dollars that it costs divided by whatever they give you, whatever you get. Okay? So let's look at the two situations. Situation number one, how much did the pencils cost? $7.97. So we'd write this down, $7.97. Per means divide by, right? Per, and how many pencils do we get? 30 pencils. Okay? Now, once we've set up that ratio, that fraction, we can use our calculator. And what is 7.97 divided by 30?
0.265.
0. What?
65.
0.265. 265, which everybody else has just been zeros. It would be 0.27. You're the first class that rounded it correctly. 0.27. 265 goes up to 0.27. Now, that would be dollars per pencil. That would be about 27 cents per pencil. Is that a good deal? Well, we got to look at deal number 2. Okay. What was the cost of deal number 2? $4.77. So we'd write down $4.77. It's in the numerator. Per means divide. And how many pencils do we get with that one? 12. Good. Some of you are writing this down. That's going to help you out for when you have to do it on your own. Now we go to our calculator. That's what we're showing. But let our calculator do the calculation. Izzy, what did you get? 0. What? 3975. So that'd be 39.75 cents, but we'd round it up to, well, 39 cents would go up to 40 cents. So this would be 0.40. That'd be dollars per pencil. Okay? Now, would you rather spend 27 cents per pencil or 40 cents per pencil? 27. But again, some families, if you're the only kid, do you need 30 pencils? Parents are like, nope, 12 would be good enough. 1 per month for the year. But I know some kids go through 1 or 2 pencils a day. So I buy in bulk.
I buy
All right?
the big ones just for other years.
You wouldn't believe how many pencils I have stored away in there. I have a lot of pencils. I don't even know. I have like 2 or 3 ice cream buckets full of pencils. Yeah. It's a good place to store them. Now, all right, next deal. You could just put better deal, question mark. You don't have to put which is the better deal. Just put better deal, question mark. $14.08 for 44 pencils or 34 pencils for $9.57. What did they do with this second one that might mess you up? They did what? The numbers are less, sure, but they flipped them. Yeah, when they put dollars and then what you get in that order, that's what you do. But notice they flipped it around. Kids would then go 34 divided by 9.57. That's the wrong thing. We always do our dollars divided by what we get. So the first one would be 14.08 divided by 44. Down here, we would do the 957 divided by 34. Sometimes you can look at it and go, well, that's obviously the better deal. We can see that sometimes. Oftentimes you can't. And they change the numbers up so much that it's tough for you to do the calculations in your head. I know Walmart sometimes gives the unit price of things, and that's what we're finding here. How much is it for 1 pencil? First one was 32 cents?
Yeah.
0.32. How much was the other one? 0.2 what? 281. Which one's the better deal? You want to spend 32 cents or 28 cents? So this was the instance where the smaller package was the better buy. Usually you think the one that's in bulk is the better buy. We'll look at some situations like that later on. Okay? All right. For your homework, what I want you to do, you're going to skip a couple pages. You're going to go to this page, which is the homework helper. And I want you to read through. You can maybe start it right now. Read through and look at what they're thinking when they go through and do it. Does it make sense with what we did? There's 3 problems on this page, 3 problems, and 1 problem on the next page. Look those over. Maybe use your calculator, double check what they're doing, if they're doing it right. Look at their logic, at their thinking, and hopefully that makes sense to you. We're going to continue with this tomorrow, and then we're going to have a little homework.
Homework tomorrow?
Yeah. Do not rip out any pages from your book. Yeah. We will take notes on that page tomorrow. All right. You can work the rest of the period on looking over those problems.